Our hearts go up. The Kashmiri people, this disaster caused by the flooding of river Jhelum has created an unprecedented situation. The suffering of the people of Kashmir has deeply touched all our hearts. The quick response from the central government and above all, the stupendous effort that the Indian Army has put in saving hundreds and thousands of lives, rehabilitating them in many different ways. It is truly heartwarming to see that the Indian Army is doing such a fantastic job. They've been at every disaster wherever it happens in this country. Our good wishes to them so that they will continue to succeed in saving lives in Kashmir. Above all, India as a nation is responding wonderfully, as it should, to the plight of Kashmiri people.
My second question is, you are really championing this cause of conserving natural resources, especially water. And as we see entrepreneurship today in the country, right, there is so much talk about entrepreneurship and startups. What role do you think entrepreneurs can play in really helping more causes which are helping the environment, which are helping sustain life for the future?
See, one thing we need to understand is, probably in the last 20-30 years, where concern for ecology has risen to some extent in the world's population and also in the leadership. But still, in lots of people's mind, it is like this: economy is today's problem, ecology is tomorrow's problem. No, ecology is today's problem. And another dimension is, the so-called activists, ecological activists and others have brought about a culture that if you stand up for ecology, you must be against economic progress. This is the fundamental I'm trying to change. If you pit economy versus ecology, economy will win hands down. It is extremely important that ecology and economy should walk hand in hand, that we have to look at how to create economic situations or economic structures which are ecologically sensitive. If you do not do this, if you pit them against each other, ecology will get washed out, economy will win, because human aspirations are right now like that. So entrepreneurs, it is very, very important, whether established businesses or entrepreneurs, it's important that we see how to craft our businesses so that they're ecologically sensitive. One important thing is, people need to understand this. This is an unpopular thing to say, because ecology means everybody want to hit some industry. Yes, industries have polluted water, industries have exploited the land and mineral resources, that is there. But we need to understand the biggest ecological damage that's happening on this planet is our rampant agricultural activity, very inefficient agricultural activity. If we do agriculture using modern science and technology, right now whatever the area of land we are using on this planet, with 1/3 of that land we can grow enough food for all the people on this planet. Especially if people switch to plant-based diets, you can very easily make sure you can… 2/3 of the land we are using for agriculture can be converted into agroforestry and to put land under shade, because that is the most important thing to do. Right now, water distress has come to many nations, particularly to India. We need to understand the real issue is not water. The real issue is the soil. Soil is losing its strength, soil has lost its organic content. That is the reason why water is a problem.
Yeah, I learned a simple process which says that whenever doubt arises in our life, doubt the doubt. And whenever trust arises, trust the trust. My question is now, The ultimate, next step we are saying, the ultimate as a final step, I would like to ask is dissolution, or what we call moksha. That is one area which, I don't know how to take a step forward. I don't know whether my question is clear.
You want to dissolve? Okay.
That is the ultimate, process.
You need a barrel of sulfuric acid.
Okay, can we have…
No, we'll answer that question.
Yeah. Should we take one or two other questions if you're okay with that?
But you won't get this kind of a
Okay.
question. The reason why the so-called spiritual process has fallen upon ridicule in the world is, well, there may be few entrepreneurs who do their own things, leave them. I'm not going into that. But the reason why spiritual process has become ridiculous on the planet is because people try to do the highest things on the street side without the necessary committed atmosphere, without the necessary focus, simply talk about mukti, moksha, In the previous generation, everybody talked about mukti, moksha just about anywhere, sitting, standing. Whenever life became miserable, they want moksha. When it's going well, they forget about moksha. Their idea of moksha itself is convoluted. So this is important. With all due respect to everybody who's spoken about these things, maybe those things were spoken in a certain atmosphere to a certain individual towards a certain purpose. I think it's quite irresponsible, first of all, to print that in a book and just everybody reads it without knowing the context of what it is, without having gone through the journey that person who asked that question is gone through. The question doesn't have depth. Answers we can give any number, all you will do is you will pick up more words from today evening and it's not going to do anything. If you're serious about it, if you're really serious about it, if you're serious about your journey, leave all this, first of all, get rid of all the jargon, all the spiritual jargon. Just come to this much. How much of you is sense? How much of you is nonsense? Sit down, unprejudiced, just make an evaluation, just an accountant's job, okay? How much of you is, let me use the right appropriate word, sense, and how much of you is nonsense? Every day, sieve it out, you will see it's not an easy job. And ask some of you, two friends of yours and two people who don't like you, also to assess you. You need an outside opinion, isn't it? Second opinion is always good. You will see it's a great cleansing process. Instead of talking mukti, moksha, dissolution, sushupti, something else, these are all words. Anybody can pick up Sanskrit words. What is the point? Let's take all the scriptures, all the teachings, all the philosophies, all the great things that people have spoken about. All of them are worth nothing compared to a single existential step that you took inward. If you take one step, it is worth more than all the scriptures in the universe put together. Sleep is not a requirement in one's life. What the body requires is rest. Sleep is just one form of rest. A lot of people are beginning to think, in Tamil Nadu if somebody says, rest panikaranga, means they're sleeping. Need not be, you can sit and rest, isn't it? Yes? You can stand and also rest. You're running, if you stand, doesn't it feel like rest? You're standing, if you sit down, doesn't it feel like rest? There are many ways of resting. The most important thing is, rest means you're changing the energy equation where consumption is lowered, production is going on at the same pace. So after a period of time, you feel rejuvenated because consumption has been lowered. Essentially, you're managing the energy equation. If you're in activity, the consumption is more. Whatever you're producing, it's not enough. After some time, you feel exhausted because the consumption has been heavy. If you lower the consumption and increase the production, after some time you feel energized. Suppose you're running, if you run a mile, after that you can't take another step, let's say. Oh, many of you have been running for Isha marathons, Isha Vidya marathons. After 42 kilometers, all right. Whenever. After a mile or two, you can't take another step. Don't eat anything, don't drink anything, just sit down for 10 minutes. Again you find rejuvenated, isn't it? All you have done is lower the consumption, production is still at the same level. So now there are ways to lower the consumption and increase the productivity also. So if you come to a certain state of ease, when I say ease, it's not something that most people will ever understand, because most people are not at ease. If you're at total ease, the system is at total ease, everything is at ease. It is well rested, always it is rested. Because it's so rested throughout the day, if you sleep in the afternoon, do you see you can't sleep much in the night? Yes? Oh, you all be experimenting? If you sleep in the afternoon, you can't sleep much in the night unless you're sick or you're very tired because of something. Because it's well rested in the day, it can't sleep in the night. So you don't have to necessarily sleep. If you sit here also, if your body is resting, you will see your sleep quota will naturally shrink. How to increase the quality of sleep? Don't try to increase the quality of sleep. The ideal way to live is, there is no sleep in my life. But that's not possible right now, still body has some inertia. So it sleeps minimum. Rest of the time, it is at ease. If you keep this at ease, then sleep does not occur to the body unless it comes to a certain point of exhaustion. The body is never ever asking for sleep, but it is definitely asking for rest. If you do not know how to sit here in a restful manner, it will try to rest like this. If you can sit here totally at ease, it'll sit here for hours without falling asleep. Otherwise, this is the only way it knows how to rest. So do not try to increase the quality of sleep, there's no such thing. Just learn to keep your body restful and at ease consciously. If you sit here now, one simple thing you can do is you sit down, you come and sit down here. Just move your attention from the top of your head down to your toes and see if everything is loose and easy and relaxed and at ease. Are you sitting like this? You sit, just bring this to ease as much as you can. Not everything is in your conscious level. As much as you can consciously, bring it to ease. You will see suddenly, if you are the kind who will fall asleep at 10 o'clock, if you simply 1 hour you sit here at ease, you will see your sleep will get postponed by half an hour. You won't feel sleepy at 10. Naturally you're awake. So instead of trying to increase the sleep quality, now you increase the quality of life. If you increase the quality of life, when I say increasing the quality of life, nothing in your life, whatever you may be doing, from simple breathing to any complex activity that you do in your life, the quality of that will not improve if you cannot do it with ease. Is that so? Only when you can do something with total ease. Let's say you're riding a bicycle. If you're riding like this, you can't say you're enjoying your cycling. If you can ride it with ease, with so much ease that even if you take off your hands, it'll go only straight, the way you want it to go, you're at ease. Because that you're at ease, the quality of your cycling has improved, isn't it? So these two things are connected. So if you enhance the quality of your life, naturally sleep quota will go down. If the quality of your life goes bad, you can't do anything with ease, then also you cannot sleep, but stressfully you cannot sleep. Not because you're well rested you cannot sleep because you're stressed out. If you do this, you will not live long. If your body does not get enough rest, it will die, it will break, something will go. If you are not at ease, that means you are in dis-ease. You're heading there. You are in dis-ease means you're in a certain state of ill health. But if we say you're diseased, that means you're dead. So don't move and stay into the direction of disease, move into the direction of ease. If you become totally ease, sleep quota will come down. Quality of sleep will be good because quality of life is good. You want to increase only the quality of your sleep, life does not work like that. If you wake up well in the morning, you will also sleep well in the night. There's a whole lot of systems to give this to people. In the Eastern cultures, in India particularly, all the systems are built into one's life. Of course, they're throwing it away because they all became modern. Modern means to be distressed, constantly in tension, agitated, worked up about everything, that means you're really modern. Otherwise, traditionally, all these things were built in. From morning when you wake up till you go to sleep, what you should do, how you should handle yourself, all these things were fixed. Till the beginning of this generation, everybody was aware, suddenly they all became English educated and they become modern and tense. Otherwise, this was called achara vichara, what to do, what not to do. Everything is built from morning to night, all aspects of life, how to do it. If you do it like that, so that you can do everything with ease, as much ease as possible. So those who are not able to dedicate their life to yoga and spiritual process, for them it was built into natural culture, at least this much ease you know, so that you wake up happily and go to sleep and sleep well. Even today, this is a thing that they will say in India. If people say, what's happened, this happened, that happened in my life, they say, that's okay, but in my life, if I lie down, I sleep well. He might have made so much money, it's okay, but I sleep well. You see, hear this, people say this part of the cultural expression. I sleep well means I'm living well. Only because I live well, I can sleep well. If I'm not living well, I cannot sleep well. So do not try to improve the quality of your sleep, improve the quality of your life, then you will naturally sleep well also. This process that we have set forth now, that we are referring to as Shivanga, Anga means a limb, that means a limb of Shiva, you're a part of him. So being a part of the Creator, from the transition or the journey is from being a part of creation to be part of the source of creation or the Creator. This is something that is infused in all of us, not just as human beings. Every life around us has the same source. But the biggest advantage we have, or the biggest challenge we have, the biggest possibility that we have in our lives is we are capable of realizing it. We are capable of making it into a conscious process. None of the other creatures can do it. None of the other life forms, though they are made of the same stuff, they are never ever able to realize that they are made of this stuff. But if you light the fire of devotion in your heart, you will not live here as a piece of earth, but you will live here as a limb or a part of Shiva. So, as devotees, I want you to bring a new level of sensitivity to everything around you. I want you to bring this culture of a new level of sensitivity, and devotion should become the most beautiful and attractive thing. It has always been. This is what human heart longs for, that it wants to be on fire without reason. If it is not on fire without reason, you will set it on fire with hormones. If there is no devotion, you desperately try to cling to somebody. If there is devotion, you will see whatever you want is happening within you. The most beautiful things are happening within you. There is no time even to look around for anything, because so much is happening within you. It will be good to do a few years of sadhana and bring that sense of devotion, which is absolute balance within yourself. When you're a devotee, you're in total balance, because devotion brings that dimension into you. It looks like an extreme process. Devotion or a devotee is an extremist who is not against anything. We need such people. Right now, we create extremists who are always against somebody. I want you to just imagine, people like the terror people, they're causing havoc on this planet. But there is one dimension to them which is very valuable, that is, they're willing to die for what they hold as valuable. This is a great quality. Only thing is they're against somebody, that's the only problem. Suppose they had no enemy. Suppose you have no enemy and you're incapable of an enemy, but you're an extremist, you would be a fantastic, intense human being, isn't it? A very intense and wonderful life you would be, if only you did not make an enemy within yourself. If you do not create an enemy and you're an extremist, it's a great way to be, because you will live an intense life, absolutely intense life. When you're not for anything or against anything, just an extremist, you will be a great piece of life. See, when somebody else calls you a fool, it's an insult. When you realize you're a fool, that means you become smart enough to know that. So I did not call you a fool, I only agreed with you. This happened to me also. Before all this happened, I was very smart. Very. So I thought, and so everybody around me also supported it. I definitely thought so. All others around me also supported this. He's very smart. And the activity that I was performing at that time and the results that it produced also proved that I was very smart. But one day, I went up a small hill and I realized I was an utter fool. Since then, everything has been fantastic. Yes. Be a fool, it's a damn good thing. If you're a damn fool, it's a damn good thing. But don't tell anybody like this. Because socially you still have to live. You don't go about telling everybody, I'm a fool. It's all right. You know you're a fool, everybody thinks you're smart, that's a good thing. But you tell everybody you're a fool, that's not a good thing. So, there are different ways to look at this. If something bigger than yourself happens to you, something way bigger than yourself happens to you, then naturally you feel like a damn fool. Nothing happened to you, you are the biggest thing in the universe. You think you're smart, but you are a bloody fool. That's a big difference. We can even say this in other terms, but let me not go there. I want you to understand that there are no too many problems with you. Hello? You think you're complicated because you like to be complicated. Because if you're simple, you feel like a fool. Yes? So you're complicating yourself just to avoid seeing that you're a bloody fool. Your problem is not very existential, it's more maintenance. Certain things are not opening up. This happened. Shankaran Pillai checked into a hotel along with his wife. At 11:30 in the night, he called the reception and he said, "My wife is threatening to jump out of the window from the 5th floor." The reception said, "Sir, this is a personal matter. I cannot intervene in this, and above all, I'm the only night staff who is here. So you need to deal with it yourself, this is a personal matter. Except for me and one maintenance staff, there is nobody in the hotel, we cannot assist you in any way. You need to deal with it yourself, it is your personal stuff." Shankaran Pillai roared, "You idiot! You think I will ask you to come and handle my personal matters? I'm talking about a maintenance issue only. The damn window is not opening." So, your problem is just that, the window is not opening. There's no other problem, just maintenance issues. Because you think you're too smart, it's too stuffed up. If you feel like an empty fool, it'll open up.
Well, if you made it here, it shows you're ready to change. You're done with running. This kind of attention is rare, it's precious. Drop your city in the comments, and if you'd like, share this with someone who's also thirsty for clarity. Thank you, Big Hug, and see you soon.